What's up, scholars? Today in this very short video, I'm going to explain part one of our final project on climate justice. So you'll see it posted here, and there's quite a few resources and items for you to take a look at. I'm going to try to go through those somewhat quickly, and then you'll begin working on your project today. So the first thing that you need to know is the overview of the project. So the overview of the project, it's going to include three parts. The first part, you're going to introduce a natural disaster that you have chosen. So you will pick a natural disaster and you will do some research on it and learn about several things. The first part will just be an overview or an introduction. The second part will be climate change's impact on the event. And part three will be climate justice related to the event. In addition to this details document, which so far has information for what you need to include in part one, there is also a resources document. This is going to help you, it's a very extensive document that is going to help you decide on your topic. So for example, the exemplar I created is based on Hurricane Katrina, but you are welcome to pick from any of the kinds of disasters that we've talked about over the course of the year. So you've got hurricanes and cyclones, you've got tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, extreme temperature events, famines and droughts, wildfires, and extreme precipitation and flooding. Now, I have included a bunch of links. These are mostly just straight to Wikipedia about different kinds of disasters that you can choose from. You can, of course, choose from any that you'd like. I'm also going to encourage you to reach out to me if you're going to have any difficulty deciding. We really want to decide within the first 10 or 15 minutes which disaster we're going to choose. Once you've selected your disaster, I've also included several other helpful things in this resources document. So there are a bunch of federal and public and private organizations associated with social justice, climate change, and so on. So I've included the names and acronyms of those with links to their websites and their about pages here. I won't go through too much of that right now. And then maybe the most helpful thing I've put in here is for each kind of disaster, I've tried to include some generic and some specific information. So you can see, for example, about hurricanes, about volcanoes, and so on. And then I've also tried my very best to include links to resources for climate change and for social justice and climate justice resources when we get to that portion of the project. Now, what are you going to be doing today? You're going to be doing the steps in this details document. So you're going to start by watching this Edpuzzle video. You're going to earn practice points just for watching it. You're going to select your natural disaster. That's the next step. Then you're going to start your project today by editing the template slides, which are over here on Google Classroom. They are very, very bare bones. And you're also, of course, welcome to look at my exemplar set of slides. So I'll be updating this as we go. Right now, I just have information for part one. You can see part two is still under construction, as well as part three. Once you've selected and begun editing your template slides, you'll continue to collect resources, you'll make your slides, and of course, you'll be able to use the resources document, which I just showed you. Part one of this, sort of like a little bit of a check-in, is going to be due on Thursday by the end of the class period, and I'm going to give you mastery points for working on that. So your slides are going to be covering these 8 things: a title, an overview. I want to be kind of clear here. In this project, you're going to give both an overview about your type of disaster. So for example, if you pick tsunamis, you're going to be giving sort of generic information about how tsunamis form, how they can cause damage, and so on. And then, let's say you picked the 2004 Pacific Ocean tsunami. You'll talk about the specific details of that tsunami, how it impacted people's lives, and the long-term impact of it. Additionally, you're going to, of course, include resources to each of the things you used for your research. Just like in our mastery slides, you're going to, if you include any kind of images, you'll include a brief description and the link to that source right here. When it comes to linking our sources, for now, links are going to be just fine, and you can see that I've actually edited this so that it looks nice. It just says Wikipedia Hurricane Katrina instead of the big long URL. So, like I said, I'm going to be here to help you both pick your topic and get started on collecting those resources. Thank you so much, scholars.